Nard B.
What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? What would you do if I walked in the house with some new? I told you I bought it for you. And what would you do if I always told you the truth? Tell me, girl, what would you do?
I mean, I gotta ask.
What would you do? What would you do? Tell me, girl, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Tell me, girl, what would you do?
Yeah. What would you do for a bag of money? What would you do for a money bag? What would you do with your opportunity to bring the motherfucking thunder back? I'm a motherfucking thundercat, a long way from retirement. I was raised on the street lights, a product of a real environment.
What would you do if I took you out the hood, baby, took you to an island? Tell me where you think you wanna go, never mind wherever I done been. What would you do if I'm hiring? What would you do if I said that you cool, but you really don't meet the requirements? What would you do with the kid? What would you do if I said that I see me and you and we doing it big? What would you do if I caught a case? What would you do with a bid? What would you do in the morning if you woke up and it went like this? What would you do with the Sid? What would you do for the kids? What would you do if I walked in the house with some new? I told you I bought it for you. And what would you do if I always told you the truth? Tell me, girl, what would you do?
I mean, I gotta ask.
What would you do? What would you do? Tell me, girl, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Tell me, girl, what would you do?
What would you do with 100? What would you do with a 50? What would you do with a 30? What would you do if your main man did you dirty? What if he put the 12 and you didn't? What if he tried to fuck your old lady? What if you knew the nigga after 10 years, treat your daughter like your own baby?
I ain't gon' ask you what would you do now, cause your head better go crazy. Especially listening to Spodee song, better listen to another Spodee song. I'm on the TV, still trapping on the mobile phone. Fuck all the cap, I'ma get me some money. Stay down with rap, I'ma get me some money. Jug out the pack, I can get me a Honda. Call me right now, I pull up in a Honda. Call me right now, I pull up on the corner. I got the high prices at the moment. What would you do if the plug was your homie? What would you do if you didn't have a plug? Put me anywhere with $100 and one with Spodee be loaded with drugs. What would you do if I walked in the house with some new? I told you I bought it for you. And what would you do if I always told you the truth? Tell me, girl, what would you do?
I mean, I gotta ask.
What would you do? What would you do? Tell me, girl, what would you do?